Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar, Moving Forward with QuestBridge Regular Decision. My name is Brianna Powell. I am a program associate here at QuestBridge. And as I mentioned, I'm excited to spend the next hour with you all as we discuss your next steps after match day. So I just want to name and acknowledge the feelings of disappointment that might be coming up for folks after not matching. But as I mentioned before, the journey is not over. And I hope that by walking through this webinar and talking about your options after the match can help you see how you can continue to build on all of the great work that you have already put into this process and continue to push forward. Like I mentioned, it is not over. This is not the end of your college admissions journey, but a moment to reflect, to pause, and to take full advantage of the opportunities that are available to you and just all the options that lie ahead. So each year, many finalists who do not match are ultimately admitted to a QuestBridge college partner through different admission rounds. These students go on to receive generous financial aid and attend the college partner as a QuestBridge scholar. Based on prior years, we expect that over 40% of finalists who did not match last year have been admitted to one or more of our college partners through the QuestBridge regular decision process or other admission rounds like early action, early decision. Considering the fact that the acceptance rate to our college partners is a little bit over 10%, this is a significant result. So during this next hour, we are going to talk about the following. First, we'll talk about the benefits of being a finalist. So we'll explore how being a finalist is a significant achievement that can continue to support your admissions journey after match day. We'll also talk about your options following the match. So talking about your next steps, as well as the timeline that's approaching for you between now and spring of 2026. We'll dive into researching college fit as well. So because you've already researched your colleges during the rankings process, you may have just a great idea of what is and what isn't for you. You might even be considering revisiting your list, maybe expanding it with new schools, or maybe even thinking about schools that you perhaps removed from your list, or schools that you, oh my goodness. Sorry about that, folks. I have a cat in the background who is very eager. So if you hear something, I apologize for that. But yes, your list might expand during this part of the process, and you are welcome to explore your list as it grows. And then last but not least, we will be focusing on frequently asked questions. So taking time to answer your common questions about your next steps after match day. One thing that I want to emphasize and reiterate, and you will hear me say throughout the duration of today's webinar, is that not being matched to a specific school is not a reflection of your chances of being admitted there. In fact, the students in this very photo, all three of them were students who did not match, but went on to become QuestBridge scholars. For many of our college partners, the number of highly qualified finalists may outnumber the amount of match scholarships that they're able to offer each year, but they still may be interested in your candidacy for regular decision admission. All right, so with that, we are going to dive into the meat of today's webinar, and let's just get into it. Benefits of being a finalist. So as I mentioned, the National College Match Journey does not end after match day. Many of our current QuestBridge scholars and finalists, or QuestBridge scholars were finalists, who originally did not match and are currently attending one of our college partners after being admitted through QuestBridge Regular Decision or other admission rounds. Continuing their QuestBridge journey after the match was possible for them. So let's talk about how this is possible for you too. Okay, so we get a lot of questions about what is the difference between QuestBridge Regular Decision, standard and independent applications through each college. Many students also will ask us which is more beneficial in terms of their chances of being admitted. And one thing that's important here is that colleges purposely partner with us at QuestBridge because they intend to actively seek outstanding students who have demonstrated academic achievement and the potential to make a positive impact on their campus, despite experiencing financial challenges. You all have been selected as finalists because we believe you have the potential to be admitted and to thrive at our college partners. Many of our college partners will actually prefer that students use the QuestBridge application over the common application since they feel that it provides just a more complete picture of the student. So I say this all to say that applying as a finalist is the best way to ensure that you are recognized for your achievement. In that same vein, applying as a finalist allows colleges to gain the most comprehensive picture of you and your story. You benefit from using an application that is specifically designed to highlight you and your unique experiences. As I noted before, I'm going to hit on this point throughout today's webinar, but I want to once again emphasize that not matching does not mean no. As a finalist who did not match, you have not been rejected by any of the schools on your rankings list, and you are welcome to explore admission options with those schools. In fact, this is really one of the unique aspects of the match, is that you get to apply to schools again, and having this opportunity is really unique to the National College Match. So whether that's through early admission opportunities uniquely available to students as finalists who ranked colleges, or applying to any of the schools that you ranked and more through QuestBridge Regular Decision, you can still be admitted to QuestBridge College Partners. We'll discuss these options in depth in a little bit here. Another benefit of being a QuestBridge finalist is that your application fees to our college partners are automatically waived as a finalist. Imagine paying to apply to every single college partner you would like to apply to. That will add up very quickly. So I will note that many of our college partners do offer waivers if you are applying through another application. However, they may take some time to process those applications. So that's another consideration to keep in mind when thinking about paying for other applications. When you apply as a QuestBridge finalist, you don't have to apply for anything. It's automatically waived. In QuestBridge Regular Decision, you can still receive substantial financial aid from the college. All of our college partners guarantee to meet 100% of demonstrated financial need. So awesome benefit to keep in mind here as well. And while there are numerous opportunities to attend a QuestBridge College Partner, I want to remind you all that admission to QuestBridge College Partners is highly competitive and is not guaranteed as a finalist. So you should be also researching other colleges outside of QuestBridge to apply to via Regular Decision. We strongly recommend applying to a variety of colleges, including target and likely schools, in addition to applying to our college partners. So really want to give yourself a variety of options during this period as you're applying to schools for Regular Decision. If you ultimately decide to enroll at one of our college partners through Regular Decision or other early options, you can join the QuestBridge Scholar community. This is a growing community of students from across the country who share common experiences, a commitment to giving back, and a dedication to academic and professional achievement. The Scholar community also provides a supportive community on campus, as well as networking and leadership opportunities. After you graduate, you'll join the alumni community and be a part of a lifelong network of scholars. So let's just take a closer look at the doors of opportunity that open, not just now as a high school student, but throughout your life attending a QuestBridge College Partner. So finalists who enroll and attend a QuestBridge College Partner get to, as we noted, join that supportive community of QuestBridge scholars. Also participating in the QuestBridge Alumni Mentorship Program, where QuestBridge scholars and recent graduates are matched with an experienced QuestBridge alum to help with the transition of your next steps as you're entering college and beyond. Also get to explore summer professional experiences and career opportunities exclusively available to QuestBridge scholars and alumni with our college partners. Apply for full tuition scholarships for graduate school, including pursuing an MBA degree at top business schools or advancing your medical career in medical school. So, a plethora of benefits and opportunities that are available to you after high school as a QuestBridge scholar. Okay, so I have alluded to the admission options that are available to you after the match, but I think it's time for us to explore them in detail. So let's get into it. First, let's walk through your timeline after match day. So, your first step, if you have not done so already, is to review your admission opportunities in your decision letter. We'll discuss the types of options here shortly in the following slides. However, it's important to note that some schools will automatically roll your application into their early action or regular decision admission rounds, while others might require you to take immediate action to be considered. Aside from your school-specific early decision and early action admission opportunities, you also have the option of applying through QuestBridge Regular Decision. You can apply to any of our QuestBridge college partners through the regular decision form, including schools that you did not rank or removed from your list. I also want to emphasize here that there is no limit to the number of schools that you can apply to through QuestBridge Regular Decision. When you're ranking schools, as we know, that max number is 15. There is no max number for QuestBridge Regular Decision. In theory, you could apply to all 55 college partners. That would be a lot of work over your winter break, but I say that to just really send home the point that you can apply to as many schools, including schools that you ranked or did not rank during this process. You can select the schools that you would like to apply to through the QuestBridge Regular Decision form on your Manage page, which is currently open and will be due on December 11th. After the Regular Decision form closes, each college partner that you select will activate your QuestBridge application at their school. Each school's admissions review committee is responsible for selecting students and reviewing all materials. So if you have any questions at this point, you should reach out to the schools directly. We are actually going to drop a link to a page on our website that directs you to contact information for each school. Super helpful to have on hand in case you need to contact their admissions or financial aid office directly. You are then responsible for beginning your regular decision requirements, such as supplemental essays or sending official transcripts to the schools that you are applying to through QuestBridge Regular Decision. In January, you must submit the regular decision requirements directly to the colleges. Some colleges do have deadlines as soon as January 1st or within the first few days of the new year. So you want to make sure that you are paying close attention to those deadlines. Important thing to note here is that these deadlines will vary by college. So you'll want to keep track of what you are responsible for submitting and by when. Quick note also here on non-QuestBridge college partners. As we mentioned, during this time, you'll want to ensure that you have a variety of options beyond the QuestBridge college partners in the spring. So it's beneficial to submit the right materials and meet the deadlines of non-QuestBridge schools in the case that you do not get accepted to a QuestBridge college partner. A good thing I will also note about working on your QuestBridge regular decision requirements is that a lot of the same materials can be used to apply to other schools, like your financial aid documents or even your essays. You do want to make sure you are changing the names of the schools if you are reusing essays, just a pro tip there. All right, next item here in the timeline. After submitting your materials, our college partners will review your application for admission, and you will receive a decision in early spring of 2026. Remember, as we know about our college partners here, our colleges are committed to meeting 100% of students' demonstrated financial need. And if you are accepted, they will have a financial aid package breakdown for you. And then last but not least, if you are admitted to and decide to enroll in a college partner in the fall of 2026, you'll have the opportunity to join the QuestBridge Scholar Community. Any QuestBridge finalist who is attending a college partner is a part of this network, no matter what round of the application process they were admitted through. So whether a student was admitted through regular decision, early decision, received a match scholarship, they are all considered QuestBridge scholars. All right, so let's spend some time exploring your first next step, reviewing your admission options. We'll start by looking at the early action and early decision opportunities first, which is a great option if you have a top choice college in mind. If you want to see if a college that you ranked will consider you an early action or an early decision round, first check your decision letter. At the very bottom, you'll find information about admission opportunities. For additional information, navigate to each college partner's application requirements page and then click Options Following the Match. We also have a very helpful page on our website called Options Following the Match to quickly navigate to each of our college partners' options. And we are going to drop this link in the chat for you to explore, peruse, and explore the schools that you rank to see those options in detail. Okay, so let's take a look at a college partner's option following the match as an example of the opportunities that you may have. Just want to note here that these details are taken directly from our website and are available for each college partner. So let's say in this scenario that I ranked Boston University and I did not match on December 1st. It is my top choice school. I see myself at Boston University, and I can see that if I reach out by December 3rd, 2 days after match decisions are released, I can be considered for admission in their early decision pool. Or I could be considered in their early decision 2 pool if I email by January 6th. Important thing to remember as you are reviewing your options is that early decision is binding, and you may only apply to one school for early decision admission, regardless of whether it is a QuestBridge college partner or not. So while multiple college partners may offer you early decision opportunities, you'll need to consider which school is the best fit for you and apply to one school only. This is for early decision. Just want to stress this point here. We think that this is a really awesome opportunity and encourage you to explore your options. Each year, there are students who did not match, and just a week later or two are accepted through early decision by a college that they ranked, or in January or February for early decision too. So, as we noted earlier, colleges might not be able to match with you for a number of reasons, but they still may want to accept you with a generous financial aid package. And if you ranked a college, if a college that you ranked will consider you for early decision admission, read the instructions in your decision letter carefully, as you might need to take immediate action to be considered. As we saw here for Boston University, it's 2 days after match day release to be considered for ED1. So some quick turnarounds here. If you choose to apply to one school for early decision, please note that you are still welcome to begin the regular decision process for other QuestBridge college partners by submitting the QuestBridge Regular Decision form. Then, if you are accepted to the college that you applied to via early decision, at that point, you would be expected to withdraw your other regular decision applications. This is just one example of an option after the match. I want to have this important reminder here for us to read through, just to remember to carefully review the information at the bottom of your decision letter and check out each college's options following the match. If you have specific questions about a school's option, please contact the admissions office directly. With 55 different college partners, there are 55 different processes, so you want to contact the school directly for the most accurate information on their process. Okay, so that was one type of example of your options following the match. Let's look at another admission opportunity. So some schools will consider you in their regular decision admission pool automatically if you ranked the school. Again, we're here looking at Boston University, and you can see that they will automatically move your application into regular decision if you ranked them. You should still include this form on your QuestBridge regular decision form And in fact, we already do some of the heavy lifting for you because it will be automatically filled out and pre-selected on your form. So, as you can see, if you change your mind about a school and you no longer wish to be considered, you'll need to be active in communicating this to both QuestBridge using your regular decision form and to the college. It's important to note that some colleges will consider you in their regular decision process automatically, as we noted. The process between automatic consideration and not automatic consideration is the same. You still need to select the schools on your regular decision form. The only difference is that for schools that automatically roll your application into regular decision, you will need to reach out to them if you no longer wish to be considered for any reason. So communication is key here, regardless of which pathway you are taking. Okay, so another option, and the option that we will talk about in detail, is QuestBridge Regular Decision. I've mentioned this a couple of times, that QuestBridge Regular Decision form. You might be wondering, what is this QuestBridge Regular Decision form? Well, let's talk about it. The QuestBridge Regular Decision form is what you use to notify us at QuestBridge which college partners you are applying to through QuestBridge Regular Decision. After the form closes, we will share this information with the colleges that you specify on your form to initiate and activate your application with them. Then the school will reach out about your next steps. Keep in mind that each school has its own process and timeline for sending access to their portals. The schools will receive your information around December 16th, and it may take a few business days to process. So if you don't see a portal access email in your inbox after the typical processing time, be sure to give your spam and junk folders a check, as sometimes those emails can end up there. However, if you don't hear from them within a couple of days, please contact them directly so that they can best assist you. This form is found in your QuestBridge application on the Rankings and Regular Decision tab. You can also find it on the Manage page of your application, linked in the section beneath your application checklist. You should select all schools that you wish to be considered for regular decision admission, including the schools that you ranked, even if they automatically rolled your application into their regular decision pool. You'll notice that the colleges that you ranked will be automatically selected in the form, so you should only uncheck them if you no longer wish to be considered for regular decision by those schools. Note that if you uncheck them, you will see instructions for withdrawing, as unchecking on the QuestBridge regular decision form does not necessarily mean that your application has been withdrawn. So take a close look at those instructions for your next steps. Also note that unlike the match, admission through QuestBridge regular decision is not binding. You can edit this form as many times as you want as you continue to research and decide which schools to apply to. You can simply go back to the form, click Update to make changes. Just a note that once the form closes on December 11th, only the schools that you indicated on your regular decision form will receive your QuestBridge application from us. An important note to keep in mind here is that you're not done submitting your regular decision, or you're not done with the process after submitting your regular decision form. Just because the form closes, it does not mean that your applications to the schools that you indicated are complete. Instead, it is only your first step. So you will need to submit supplemental materials called regular decision requirements in addition to the regular decision form. We'll dive into what this looks like after we finish walking through this slide here. Please also note that if you submit the form early, we will not forward your application until after the deadline. So it's after that date that you'll begin to be hearing from colleges about setting up portals and how to submit materials. As a resource, we have a video about QuestBridge Regular Decision on our YouTube page that walks through this form in greater detail. Highly recommend watching it to get questions answered if any other things are coming up for you regarding this form. And we are going to drop a link in the chat for you so you can explore it in detail. Okay, so as we noted earlier, the the regular decision process does not end after submitting the regular decision form to QuestBridge. Similar to the match process, there are additional school-specific materials that you'll need to submit to the colleges directly. So let's explore what this part of the process entails. Regular decision requirements are the materials that you have to submit to each school that you select on your QuestBridge regular decision form. These requirements are very similar to the match requirements that you submitted to the schools that you ranked. And if you already submitted materials to the schools that you ranked, you'll need to submit fewer requirements for those schools to consider you for regular decision. You will also have the opportunity to submit new materials, such as new test scores or an updated transcript. However, you should double check to confirm that you do not have any missing match requirements, such as financial documentation, in case you still need to submit those as part of your regular decision requirements. Similar to match requirements, these regular decision requirements are specific to each college partner, meaning that their requirements will vary from one to another. So one thing that is different from match requirements is that the regular decision requirement deadlines also will vary between college partners. So instead of November 1st and having that one standard date, these various deadlines will range from January through March of 2026. So it's really important to note those various different deadlines. I also want to emphasize here that colleges, admissions, and financial aid offices are there for you to answer your questions. And we encourage you to reach out to them if you do have any questions or anything is arising for you as you're working on your application. They really are the best source, the direct source for any questions about their application, required materials, and they are here to help you. All right, so since you all are already familiar with the types of materials that schools require, I'm not going to go over these in too much detail, but I do want to take a quick look at a few examples. We have our written materials, our official reports, financial documents. A lot of this should look familiar, but I do want to highlight the QuestBridge or the mid-year report. The mid-year report is a form that your counselor submits that includes your first term grades from your senior year and should be submitted as soon as those official grades are available. Your counselor should submit your mid-year report directly to the schools that you are applying to. This should not be submitted to QuestBridge. Some QuestBridge college partners will require the QuestBridge mid-year school report form, while other schools will require the mid-year report form to be submitted through the common application or another school-specific application. For more information about the mid-year report, including how to submit it to the schools that require it, we encourage you to explore our website. Our webpage has a lot of great information regarding this mid-year report, so highly encourage folks to take a look at it to learn more. Okay, so again, similar to match requirements, you have the same resources available to you to keep track of your regular decision requirements. First, the college partner pages and a tracking tool. As a reminder, in terms of strategy, we recommend viewing the pages for each school that you are interested in applying to, and then using the tracking tool to help you keep track of everything and stay organized. At any point, if there are questions that are not answered on an individual school's page on our website, then you already know the deal. Contact the school directly. Their contact information can be found at the very bottom of each college's application requirements page. It can also be found on that contact page that we dropped in the chat a little bit ago. We encourage you to check that contact information first before sending an email to their general admissions office, as some schools have a QuestBridge specific contact, which will ensure that your message gets to the best person who can respond as quickly as possible. After you submit your QuestBridge regular decision form, you will have access to the tracking tool. The tracking tool is just a chart that you can generate by selecting the schools that you are applying to. This chart will include an overall look at all of the regular decision requirements that you must submit. It'll also be provided to you in the confirmation email that you receive after you submit your regular decision form. So just a reminder that this tracking tool is just a tool, a resource for you. It is not a requirement, but just something to help you stay on track as you are applying to multiple colleges through the regular decision process. Okay, so we know that you have already done some research, not even some, a lot of research on colleges to apply during the rankings process. But we really encourage you to expand your list for QuestBridge Regular Decision, as there are amazing opportunities at each and every one of our college partners. Speaking of resources, here is a worksheet that you might find helpful as you start thinking about your own regular decision list. This is an editable PDF, so you can type directly into the document, save it on your computer, come back to it, whatever you need to make it work best for you. We will drop a link to the regular decision research worksheet in the chat, and I highly recommend having it pulled up as we are going to dig into it a little bit deeper over these next few slides. If you click that link in the chat, it should appear in your internet browser tab. You can fill it out there, or if you're old school, you can print it out and fill it out by hand. So we'll drop a link to that in the chat if we haven't already. So what is this worksheet? What does it do? Let's talk about it. This is a college research worksheet that we've put together to help you finalize which schools you want to apply to. If you've used the rankings worksheet right after the National College Match deadline, this worksheet might look very familiar to you, but I promise you it is not exactly the same. The first three sections are very similar, though, so I will only briefly touch on those. The first step is to jot down an overarching theme, strategy, or reminder that you have for yourself, if you have one. For example, a personal strategy would be researching as many college partners as I can with an open mind. The second step is to determine which factors are most important to you and your happiness and the success that you envision yourself having in your college experience. Think about the things that you're looking for in a college and categorize them below. Remember to reflect upon different kinds of fit, right? Academic. So, thinking about the available majors and minors, the freedom to personalize the curriculum, thinking about community and social fit, student body size, diversity, student interest groups. Consider your geographic fit, right? So, distance from home, the seasons and weather, urban or suburban environment. All things to keep in mind as you're determining your best fit for college. The third step is to jot down your familiarity with our college partners so you know which ones you still need to research. You might have a new favorite in your unfamiliar category. You never know until you do the research. Very familiar is for schools that very well known to you, perhaps because of friends, family, proximity, or teachers. And relatively familiar is for schools that you recognize or have heard of and would like to do more research on. Not familiar for the schools that you do not easily recognize and have not heard of and should research further. And finally, the fourth step is to create your list. I'm going to zoom in on these columns to provide more context. Oops, sorry about that, folks. Have some technical difficulties going on. Okay. In the first two columns, you will categorize the schools that you plan to apply to. So based on the research of the colleges that you did list in part three, you'll discover which schools have the fit factors for your personal happiness and success. Think of these as your non-negotiables, your likes to have that you'll list in part two. So at this point, you'll have a pretty good idea of which college partners you definitely want to apply to and possibly want to apply to. It's also important to consider what non-QuestBridge college partners or non-QuestBridge colleges you'll like to apply to. Because admission to our QuestBridge partners is highly competitive, it's very wise and beneficial to apply to a variety of target and likely schools that are not QuestBridge schools. So to ensure that you have a healthy range of options, we recommend applying to at least 3 non-QuestBridge colleges. These could be your in-state schools, public schools, or other private colleges. When you research these non-QuestBridge schools, be sure to take into account things like the average GPA and test scores, acceptance rate, and the average financial aid package for students. So Really want to make sure that you have that balanced list in mind as you are approaching the regular decision process. All right, awesome. So we've covered a lot of ground over the last 40 minutes or so. And I'm sure that there are some questions that you may have in mind. And so we're going to take some time to tackle some of the frequently asked questions that we get about the regular decision process. And if you have questions that aren't answered here or questions that are still coming to mind for you, we will have some time to do a live Q&A to answer those questions. So we are going to get into the questions with the remaining time that we have. All right. First question. Who should I contact if I have any questions related to regular decision requirements? If you have any questions about your regular decision requirements, you should contact the colleges that you are applying to directly. As we noted, those schools, their admissions offices, their financial aid offices are the best source, the direct source for information about their application process. So contacting them is the best place to start. You can find their contact information on our College Partner Contact Information webpage. We'll drop a link to that in the chat so you can have that on hand, maybe even bookmark it so you can have it handy throughout this process. What should I do if I cannot successfully submit all regular decision requirements to the colleges by their deadlines? If you would still like to apply to the school, reach out to the colleges directly, not QuestBridge. Some colleges might be flexible in receiving materials that take time to process. For example, CSS profile may take additional time to process. FAFSA may take additional time to process. So contact the school as they might be flexible with accepting those materials after their deadline. That college partner contact information page is going to be your best bet as a place to start with finding their information. Okay, next question that we have here. Do I have to submit the Common App or the Coalition application? Is there a fee waiver? So, an important thing to keep in mind, some of our college partners require or accept the common application as a regular decision requirement. So you'll want to check each college's application requirements page to see if the schools that you are applying to do require this application. You should not, I'm going to pause here for emphasis, should not submit the common application or coalition application for college partners that do not require it as a regular decision requirement. This can cause some technical difficulties as far as processing your application. Having duplicate applications in a school system can just cause some complications. And there have been cases where applications have completely disappeared because there have been duplicates, right? So you just want to make sure that you are not submitting multiple applications unless you've been instructed by the school to submit a common application or a coalition application as part of that regular decision requirement. The Common App and Coalition fee waiver information for each college partner may be available on their application requirements page. If it is not included on those pages, be sure to contact the schools directly for more information to inquire about fee waivers. Okay. Can I use my National College Match application essays and recommenders for the common application? So, yes, you can, and you are strongly encouraged to do so. For your essays, just remember to adjust the word limit for any differences and make sure that you're still answering the prompt. So, give those essays a close look to make sure that they're still applicable to the essays that you are writing. For your recommenders can email us at educators@questbridge.org to request a copy of their recommendation letter for your National College Match application. This way, they can have this letter and resubmit it via the common application. Important note here is that we can only send copies of recommendations to the educator registered as a teacher or counselor recommender in your application. We are unable to provide students with copies of recommendations. All right. Can I exclude test scores submitted on my national college match application from consideration at a college partner? And the answer is yes, you sure can. Our test optional college partners will allow you to indicate whether or not you want your test scores submitted to QuestBridge to be included as part of your application review. For instructions, you'll want to navigate to each college partner's page, go to their application requirements tab, and review the testing section of their regular decision requirements. Each school's set of instructions may differ, so you want to give that a close look. If you have a question that's not answered on the school's page, contact the school directly. I will keep saying that because they are the best source of information. And you'll be able to find that information at the bottom of their application requirements page or that handy dandy college partner contact information page we've dropped in the chat. Can I include test scores received after the National College Match deadline in my regular decision applications? And the answer is yes, with an exclamation point. Most colleges will allow you to submit new test scores to them directly as part of your regular decision requirements. For instructions, you'll want to go to their page, their college partner page, navigate to that application requirements tab, review the testing section of their regular decision requirements. As we noted in the previous FAQ, their instructions may differ from school to school, so you'll want to give that a close look. And if you have questions, use that contact page to contact the school directly. Can I edit my application for QuestBridge Regular Decision? So we here at QuestBridge are unable to make updates or edits to your QuestBridge application at this point. However, some of our college partners may allow you to make changes or send in updates to them directly. So you'll want to contact them to see if this is a possibility for your application. Okay. All right. So we have talked about a lot here in today's session, and there's more to talk about as we transition to our Q&A portion here shortly. But I want to end our presentation piece on some inspiration from a student who did not match, but was admitted in a later admission round. So I think Natalie puts it into words that I myself cannot put into. So let's read it from her directly. The advice I gave to myself for not matching was simple. Don't give up. Even though it can feel discouraging, keep going and continue to put in the same energy and effort. You're still on track to attend a great college. And if not a full ride scholarship, you'll come very close. That gave me the motivation to keep going, knowing that there were still opportunities ahead. And this is from Natalie, who is attending Washington and Lee. A student who did not match, but held on to hope, held on to motivation to push through this time and to keep going, putting that same energy into her application process. And so I'm hoping that that can serve as inspiration for you as you're moving through this next part of the process after match day. We hope that you can feel confident in taking these next steps on your college admissions journey. The hard work that you've already put into this process has brought you this far. So the effort that you'll put in the next few months will be well worth it, I promise you. Myself and the entire QuestBridge team are cheering you on and are here to support you as you enter the home stretch of your college application journey. And I cannot say this enough. We believe in you. We believe in you. We believe in you. I feel like I should put that on a mug. Awesome. Well, now